Morning, Daryl. Yeah, barely alive, barely awake this morning. It's about 3:39 in the morning, West Coast time. It's the 27th, I think, of December 2023. Dewey Regency, Roseman, California. It's not even live or awake yet, but I'm just getting there somewhat. I've got zeros and ones all over this place that are driving me crazy, and then these damn algorithms. The more I kept trying to take care of a few things on online and social media, the more I get trapped in these damn things. It drives me nuts. You're lucky you don't live in the world of the social media, at least not all the time. I see the news happening these days of world still going hell in a handbasket, and I go on YouTube just to see if there's been any changes out there in the world, and hardly. Stuff that the zeros and ones still told me, keep flashing that I still need to look at. So I'll look at them. Looks like the same stuff over and over and over again. It's like being trapped in a menagerie I can't get out of. Isn't that nice? Isn't that fun? And yeah, people going yip 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 all the time. The closer we get to the New Year's right now, the more memories are trying to throw out there just to drive me nuts. Yeah, shut up. Now I'm looking at some of the message prompts on my main lap. I call it the main computer. I'll tell you one thing. I'm still getting crazy over my my fetishes regarding pin collecting. It's getting ridiculous sometimes. I collected a lot of pins when I was growing up, and then had to get rid of some of them because of certain situations. I think I said something about that a long time ago. These days, I'm trying to get the memories back one way or another. The pins are the memories themselves. What I'm talking about is some of the memories I've had regarding Disneyland trips. To me, they were important to me because it was dealing with my family. Basically, my brother and I going out there and having fun. A really big amusement park that seems to be going, still expansion crazy when it can, and out in Florida and limited out in here in Anaheim, California because of real estate. Getting to local news at this point here. Apparently, when Governor Newsom signed into law that there was going to be some minimum wage increases out here in California, we had corporations curtailing manpower, automatic. Sure, you can have the high wage if you want, but we're going to curtail your ass. Case in point, Pizza Hut has is laying off next year, the next 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Drivers. In California, we're losing drivers. I don't know if it's going to be nationwide, but in California, we're losing delivery drivers. Pizza Hut. From what we had, the full size restaurants, remember those damn things in the 70s and 80s and 90s where you can actually go into the restaurant? You still have the delivery services to your home, but you had full size restaurant in there. Sit down, eat your pizza, personal pan pizza. And if it's a family, you got a medium to a large. Right in a pan. You just lift it up and put it on your plate and then wolf it down. Throw some peppers, throw some Parmesan cheese, and devour the damn thing. You would have a salad bar. You would have music. You would have video games. You would have laughter. You would have people celebrating. You have people out there eating just to eat. These days, it's none of that. You go in, you can probably sit down for a few minutes, wait for your pizza, and then pick it up and get the hell out. But if you're lucky enough, you would actually have delivery drivers most of the time delivering the stuff to you. And because of the COVID nightmare that kicked in, now we have these third party guys out there doing the deliveries. We got DoorDash going on. We got Fly Guy out here in Antelope Valley. DoorDash will charge you percentages and tips, even just for doing grocery runs. Like I'm using them all the time, and some of the time I'm also using them for fast food. McDonald's, they're going to be laying off people because of the pricing, the wage increase. But they've also invested in technology that doesn't work half the time over there in the first place, and the food sucks out here in Roseman, California. Food sucks. So we need to get guys like Fly Guy to go out into Lancaster and Palmdale to get back the food and put them in the heated bags. Hopefully, we get them over here without them being cold. It's going to be out. It's going to be these guys. They're going to be doing all the pizza runs. I mean, how many people do we have in this town? We got about 12 to 13K. We've got maybe 5 pizzerias out here. Hang on a second. I gotta check my hot water right now. I gotta get coffee going. Sorry about that. Had to get my coffee. We had depended upon delivery when the COVID nightmare kicked in. We had to depend upon delivery companies for our groceries and our fast food. I mean, yeah, sure, we could have gone to the other places, but then we had the restrictions to follow. Mask up, follow the lines, left and right, deal with bug war, get away, get away, get away. Damn bugs. So anyway, yeah, still got a bug war. Despite the fact I'm trying to keep this place cold as hell, the bugs are still here, bastards. Anyway, guys like Fly Guy come out just started their delivery service, and they would go to the places to get the necessary stuff and bring it home. I depended upon DoorDash a great deal. I didn't know anything about Fly Guy until I was hearing it from word of mouth, and I haven't tried them yet. Eventually, I'm going to. The rates are about competitive anyway. DoorDash, you know, you've got this army of drivers out there who have to compete, whether or not they're going to be bidding or seeing if the tip is high enough for them. Usually about 8% on mine. I mean, it's the standard 8%. I don't go any higher than that because I can't afford it. I always have to keep the cost in my head going. But I hadn't been to a store in a hell of a long while because I've been dependent on these guys for groceries, and I keep trying to stretch the stuff as far as I can. 3 or 4 days, and I have to keep recalculating in my head all the time how much I can spend. That's what happens when we're living on a fixed income, pal. Anyway, don't even get me on the job. I had issues on this one a long time ago. I got videos on this one here, pal. But because of the wage increase, which is needed in California, we wanted these people to have an income that they can survive upon. And the problem is when you're dealing with a minimum wage system that's about like $8 or $9 an hour, you know, they work their asses off in 2 to 3 different jobs because rent prices are going up, and it's still going up, and availability for cheap homes, forget it, forget it. You want to get your own home, you have to get better and better and better jobs. In order to do that, you need to have training. If you can qualify for that. Also, out here in California, if you're dependent upon state aid for food, like food stamps, you have to be below a threshold. If you're earning minimum wage, you're competing against that. If you want state aid, you have to be broke constantly. You have to show them that you got the lowest wage because they've got a ceiling cap. They have to fix that damn thing, but they're not about to. I mean, it would be nice if I'd be getting a little bit more because of the disability I've got. And because I'm getting disability every month for the Fed, not state, but Fed, because I'm locked into it. I'm dependent upon the Fed to continue with, you know, keeping me going. And I have to manage with the money I've got there. But imagine if I went and if I actually had transportation. That's the problem right there, in that transportation. Because if you actually had transportation and you still got state aid, you got a problem because transportation is money, well above an income. And how are you going to maintain that thing without having the money for it? I mean, there are factors involved, and besides, money's property. You can't have property, not in the state. But putting that aside, if you still want a delivery, well, you got to do the delivery yourself or go through these companies. Now, I know I opened up a can of worms on these things when I mentioned about the state aid situations here and um, about disability. I mean, well, you have these limitations that we have to deal with. You want the food stamps. You have to earn. You've got to have less than what you've got because then you'll be able to get a little bit more. It works out that way. Don't. I kept trying to figure the state of California on this one. These guys are. Ugh. If you have family, they give you more food. They give you more food aid. If you're lucky to deal with a county to actually to borrow money from them, then you're gonna have to pay that thing back one way or another. They force you to get jobs, give you a limitation, and then they cut you. Cost of living increases. That's why Social Security is doing a change on that one. Because the food prices are going up, utility prices are going up, the rent prices are going up. And if you're stuck on income, if you're an income worker, meaning that you're stuck in the middle wage, actually in the low end of the food chain regarding minimum wage, and you're still working maybe 2 or 3 jobs. Imagine one of those jobs cut off, then how are you going to survive? Well, that's what Pizza Hut's doing at this point over here because uh, our governor out here wanted to give the minimum wage workers something to work with because 2 or 3 jobs at the same time, it's a killer for a lot of people. But it's survival. If they can't get any education anywhere else, or if they can't find a way to increase their pay one way or another, this helps them out. But it's a catch-22, and it's problematic because we are dealing with companies that don't want to pay. They don't want to pay. They're going to curtail their costs. They're going to they want their income to be higher and higher for the stakeholders, for the stockholders, for the people. Chairman of the board wants more money. Corporations said they're going to go broke if they have to keep spending on wages all the time. It's one thing if you had um, small time operators out there who are struggling, because that's going to be eating into their costs. But the corporates are still chewing on fat. Fat from the small guys still bleeding, being bled dry by the corporate. So the guys who own Pizza Hut are saying, guess what? You guys are going to be going out of business. Or you're going to have to change your business model because you are going to bleed into our profits. You can't have a minimum wage increase. That's not right. People who have been at the job for years, struggling with what they've got, get a chance to get a little extra breathing room. They can't have it. They're going to get the jobs curtailed. They're chopped off because the corporate wants more. They want more money. More, 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 more. They can't get it if they're paying more to the workers who've been doing the job for a hell of a long while. Why give you guys a comfortable wage? You need to struggle. This is what minimum wage is for. You have to struggle because we want the money. We want the fat profits, not you guys. Why should you get the profits? So yeah, I got a problem concerning about corporations these days. I deal with corporations. We all deal with corporations. And it pisses me off that, you know, all these nice wheeling and dealing that they give you for a short time and then, okay, we're going to take a lot more money out of you. We're going to be curtailing businesses left and right. Therefore, these smaller time hustlers out there who are building up their businesses, they're going to be expanding. They're going to be taking money away from the guys who are in the companies struggling for survival. Now, either they get to continue to be in the company with different job requirements or different job duties, but everyone else gets screwed over, including the customers. It's one thing if we're dealing with groceries being affected. Now, our supermarkets, mostly out here in the West Coast, don't do that. They don't do deliveries. There may have been one or two companies who try. Out here in the Antelope Valley, there's one or two Mexican restaurants out here. Actually, places similar to Albertsons called Vararta or Valarda. You want to do that kind of pronunciation, but it's usually Vallarta. And they offer, or they had offered, delivery services to different outside areas. Within about 10 or 20-mile radius, they can drive you to your home, deliver you into the groceries there. Courtesy visit, courtesy thing. I don't know if they're going to continue that or not because of the wage increases. It might change the corporate structure altogether with them. But yeah, this kind of disturbs me because we got corporations out there who want to save every damn dime they can for their own shareholders. For the guys who are making more money than everybody else. It's all about the corporate greed. They want to keep their corporations happy. They want to keep their stockholders happy. So they got to take food out of your mouth and put it into theirs. Yeah, I got a problem with this kind of situation over here. But this is what's happening. It's about 4 o'clock right now. We're going to have Pizza Hut probably close off restaurants because of delivery drivers. We keep advertising that we need more delivery drivers, but if the corporation is going to be doing that up and down the coastline. I mean, already we have Southern California being affected, but Kern's also being affected about it too. I just haven't mentioned this, but we're going to be hit by this one. So guys like DoorDash and Fly Guy are going to be picking up what our people in our jobs are losing. I had pizza delivery guys, and I've had other um, other delivery drivers from DoorDash recognize me when I go into Albertsons because I also see them moonlighting or actually part-timing also at Starbucks. Hey, Mr. Weaver, how you doing? What are you doing over here? Skull starts up. Oh, good. I kept looking at him like, how do I know you? Because I kept going over to your house all the time. It's bad enough when I'm getting well known out here because of my orders. They're almost consistent. I'm getting meat orders for, you know, basically rotisserie chicken because I can't afford the regular raw packaged chicken. A whole chicken will be about $12 to $15. A whole chicken, raw, in a package, not cooked. And yet, about $10, I can get a rotisserie chicken, cooked, cheaper. I go with the pocket. I go with the pocketbook on that one. And then I have to get milk. Then I have to get butter, and then I have to get this. I have to get that. There are certain orders I go over and over and over again. Like, oh, I know Mr. Weaver's order here. I'll just 15, 20 minutes later, I meet him outside, get the order, put him back in. It's maddening. I've got a liquor store guy over here. Uh, Shortstop. He's about 700 yards away from my place. I can get milk. I can get my dairy stuff. I can get canned stuff over there if I need to, just to have conversation. I'm more dependent upon DoorDash and less dependent on going to the liquor store. Go figure. And I haven't seen these guys in several months, so they're wondering if I moved out or if I'm dead or not. I'm overdue. I'm overdue to visiting these guys, and they open up in about a few hours. Sometime this week, maybe. Other than that, we're still dealing. We're still hanging in there. So I'll talk at you later. I can get this damn thing to work right again. Jeez.